Hi, and welcome to AI Onion Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing CV Library. I'll get it up there for you. There you go. CV Library, I think it can almost be claimed to be one of the kind of granddaddies of the job board industry. Been around since late 2020, so almost 24 years now. And I guess they would describe themselves, if asked, that they're a generalist site, and I'll kind of take you through that in a second. Anyway, so why AI Onion Reviews? Well, um, some of you may know that I've been in recruitment, a recruitment director, head of talent acquisition for some of the world's largest organizations for about the last 30 years now. I've even had my own agency back in the day. And one of the things that's frustrated me more than anything, I think, is good applicants making poor applications. Look, we all know it's tough enough being out there and actually making an application, actually trying to find work. It's almost a full-time job. So that's why on a weekly basis, I'll use my expertise, my experience and understanding of job boards. I've kind of not only reviewed but used most of these as a recruiter on the other side, but also I've been a candidate as well. So I've also utilized most, if not all, of the job boards on the market. And I, of course, being a head of talent acquisition at the moment, I keep up to date with all of the ones that are coming onto the marketplace. So without any further ado, let's jump straight in. So the CV library. So let me just, so as you'll see, I'm logging in as a job user or as a job seeker. So I've basically put my details in there and I'm logging in now. Okay, so once you've actually logged in as a job seeker, everything is kind of built around the dashboard. And as you probably notice from this, the interface it's a little bit dated. I mean, it's not kind of one of the kind of most efficient and up-to-date job boards that you will see out there. But I think it does a pretty good job, given the fact that it's actually trying to cater for everyone. I think speaking to one of their salespeople recently, really the focus of this site was construction in the early days, but since then, as you can see here, everything from IT, banking jobs, legal, design, finance, education, cleaning, aviation. So it gives you a sense of really that it kind of caters for everything. And if you're a candidate looking for a role, this is a great site. If you kind of want to put your CV on there and just get a sense and taste for what the marketplace is at any given time, you'll see here, I think on average they've got about 200,000 jobs today, 156,000, 10,000 companies. All right. So as I say, everything lives around your dashboard. But what I tend to do when I go on this site, I'll come down here and I'll basically start to look at exactly what I can actually see. So first of all, my dashboard, as I mentioned, and what's really nice about this, it kind of lays out everything for you. I've put myself in just as a kind of recruiter in there, just to give you a sense of what's what. But you can see it's fairly straightforward. You get lost anywhere on this site, come straight back to my dashboard. Nice and simple. Also, what they have on here actually, and it seems to have clicked itself off, is I think they've probably got some sort of relationship with a specialist CV company, because you can just click, as I did earlier on, and sorry it's not here now, but you can actually just click onto a button and it will say, do you want a free CV review? Now, they'll probably review they'll probably review my CV, send it back, show the gaping holes in it, and then probably try and sell you something off the back of that. But that's no bad. I mean, to get kind of a free CV review from an expert, no bad thing. And as you can see here, at any given time, I can just jump straight in, look at the kind of job I'm looking for, and then the kind of town, etc., town and postcode. All right, so quite simple. You can also add Career Accelerator in here. I'll talk about that in a second. Boosting your salary, you get 5 times more views. What effectively that means that your CVs will be kind of higher in ranking, so they'll probably always surface to the top for recruiters who are looking for that particular skill, for your particular skill. So could be interesting. $9.99. I suggest it's probably worth giving it a go, but it's not a terrible thing. All right, so moving further down, pardon me here. So you can search jobs, view your CV. So what's your CV actually look like? View your profile. You can change there. Look at your applications. This is all good. So you can actually see where you've actually applied. Save jobs. Again, you can go in here. You can actually save a job and you actually see what's going on with that job. That's really good. Job alerts, that's really interesting. You can put in the type of job you're looking for, and then I think you can set it on a daily or weekly basis where it will actually back out you what they call push notification. It will push jobs that are kind of coming onto the website, so you don't have to go in there every single day or every week yourself and start searching for stuff. Once you set your criteria up, then jobs will be sent straight to you. So nice and simple. All right. Settings, as you would expect. Cover letters, from memory serves me right, I don't think this has got an AI type cover letter generator for you, but there's a section where you can actually build your cover letters. Email preferences, how do you want to be contacted when you do your job alerts, change your password, etc. Nice tools here, actually. Career advice, they got lots of reading material, but also they got lots of videos and things. Some of them are a little bit dated, back to 2002, 2001, except, sorry, 221, 222. So not bad, but some interesting things. Salary guide, I've never really used the salary guide in here. There are other tools which I'll do videos about in the future, but you can at least get a sense and feel for what other roles are paying in this sector. Graduate zone, again, if you're a graduate, again, lots of information in there. And the company A to Z, this is quite nice if you've got a specific company in mind and you want to get some additional data and information on that company. Dive in here, have a look, quite useful stuff. Anyway, let's jump into and have a quick route around here. So as I mentioned earlier on, you can do a search on anything, setting your salary, your distance. I tend to, on the distance, when I'm searching for a job on here, I'll kind of do it with increments of sort of 5, you can do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 miles, etc. Start at, maybe 5 miles. It's probably worth it. And then moving up to 25 to 35 miles. That's probably about as far as you want to go, unless you yourself want to travel further. All right. Again, fairly self-explanatory. You'll find, given the fact they've got 157,000 jobs on here, you'll probably find that quite a few jobs will come up. One of the things that I found difficult with this site, if I'm being brutally honest, is that not only in-house recruiters use it, but agency recruiters use it as well. And I'm going to do another video later on down the line that explains the difference between the two and how differently they actually work and how you can manage the relationship between the two. What I tend to find is you get a lot of noise from the agency recruiters here. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but just be prepared for that constant drumbeat of are you looking, what's your current situation. If you're out of work, that's great news because people are out there helping you. If you're in work, it can be a little bit disconcerting, so just be mindful of that. Anyway, talking about kind of the details and information support they have, some really good information here about the particular sectors, a little bit about them, titles, locations, that kind of stuff. So you might go into something, say IT jobs, for instance, and there's a whole host of jobs here, 6,000 jobs on here. So again, be quite specific. So when you're searching, search narrow and then move outwards. That helps you basically start to focus in on what you're actually looking for. All right, we'll go back here and we'll go down. And again, it's just the amount of sectors they have here. Again, as I mentioned, very generalist. So there's a lot of things happening here. Take your time to go through the site. There's lots and lots of information and lots of knowledge. Give yourself time to go through it. Again, trending jobs. That's interesting if you happen to be one of those. Van drivers, you remember the issue we had during COVID, lorry drivers, etc. Probably an issue with that. It might also be helpful for you if you're looking to change career, right? So you might actually have a look at consulting jobs, finance jobs, even van driver jobs. Why not? Have a look and see what the criteria is for you potentially changing. We've done through the serve and view your CV. So I'll get rid of that for a second, but you can actually go into and review your CV. I won't go into that too much, but it's fairly straightforward. You can look at your profile, again, what you're looking for, what you're doing, your main skills, etc. Fairly straightforward. Applications, this is quite nice. So you can actually see what you've applied to and where it is in the process. Now, there are some websites out there, are some job boards out there that actually provide you a lot more information when it comes to exactly what stage you're actually at. But this is quite nice as well. But at least it shows you what you've done so you can keep a track of it. I think one of the hardest things that candidates have when they're actually looking for a job is actually front of mind. Oh my God, what have I applied for? What stage is it at, etc., etc. So again, you can see this stuff is pretty old. I tried it back then just to see what it was like. But yeah, these have actually been on the site. Again, these have all expired, but you can actually see the cover letter I actually sent and when it was sent as well. So that's pretty good. And the time of day. So if I was following up with someone at that company, I could say, by the way, Bob, I've sent you a CV on X at particular time. Do you have it in your ATS system? Fairly straightforward. Okay. My saved jobs as well. This is quite nice. At the moment, I've got no saved jobs, but if I was actually looking at a range of jobs, could be different jobs, it would just basically list out all those jobs there. So for instance, it would have my 16 applications. If they were still live, it would have them listed in here. So that's quite a nice touch. Again, if you're moving from different site to different site, this is a really nice touch because you think, okay, sometimes it's hard to remember where you've actually kept, keeping track of where you've applied to. Okay. Career advice. Again, this is really useful if you're new or you haven't been interviewing for quite some time and you just want to kind of get a feel for what's going on out there and just want to kind of get some objective insight. Again, great guides. For me, my advice to anyone looking is get as much of this kind of stuff as you can. Just pick it up as you go into the websites, you go into these job boards. Don't ignore the help and advice they actually give you. I think it can be really useful. Certainly if you're unsure. Now, there's no one site that's going to have perfect information for you, but if you kind of knit together the information you pick up as you go along, it kind of builds up a really good and interesting picture here. Getting started, kind of what type of CV, interviews, cover letters, career development, some really good stuff here. So don't ignore it, dive into it and kind of pick up the knowledge as you go along. All right. Okay. And again, location, jobs by location, some really interesting stuff here. Cover letters. Again, I don't have a cover letter here. Create new cover letter. And I guess what you can do from this as well, you can take the cover letter and then you can kind of just make a general one and then apply it to or kind of make sure it's fashioned in such a way for each particular role. So you can see what you're saying and you can, when you're following up with the recruiter at the other end or the hiring manager, you can basically talk to that cover letter. By the way, did you get my information about X, Y, Z? All right. Email preferences, basically that is for when you're setting up your job alerts, change passwords. We've talked about career advice. Another thing here, salary guide. Now, I've never really used a salary guide myself. However, if you haven't been in the market for quite some time and you just want to get a sense of what's going on in that market, in that particular sector, or you're negotiating for a pay rise with your boss, great place to come. Have a look here, see what people are paying. If it's below what you think you're worth, there are lots of other sites, and I'll be making other videos about where to find that information in the near future. However, this is a nice, good first place to come. What's also nice here, calculate your earnings. So if you're thinking about taking a job, you're not quite sure about what's actually going to look like at the end of the day, you can calculate what's what, or you're getting a pay rise, calculate what's what. Or if you're going for a new job and you think, actually, I need a certain amount, what is that really going to look like? Calculate your tax here. Absolutely perfect. And again, salary guide, CV template. So as you go through this site, it's always little tidbits basically kind of placed around for you to utilize. All right, it's there. I would suggest you use it. I think the nice thing about CV Library, given the fact it's been around now for 24 years, I think they've got a good sense of what I think they've actually got a good sense of what candidates need. They've had a lot of feedback. They do a lot of surveys. I've been using it and been in and around it, as you've seen. That was sort of 5 years ago. I actually used it. So I've actually been in and around it for quite some time. And look, there are probably more newer sites that look a bit funkier, have more AI and more machine learning attached to them. But this is a really good, solid start for anyone and or a site to actually have in your arsenal as and when you actually need it to develop your skill and part of your search portfolio. Anyway, look, I hope you've enjoyed this. I haven't gone into too much depth on everything, but hopefully just given you a high level overview of what's able and what's capable, what you can actually do with this website. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, just please like, subscribe, and of course share with anyone that you know that may be looking and or interested. But make sure you follow so you don't miss out on kind of weekly videos like this coming in the future. Anyway, look forward to speaking to you soon, and thank you very much for your time. All the best. Bye.